it is, I can't believe it. It's already June 11th, 2025. Season's getting kicked off. That's for sure. I'm sure you guys are all looking at those blue skies, hopefully, as any of those rain showers move out of the way and you're stacked with work and your calendars are looking good. Hopefully your sales pipeline is looking good and you're winning some projects and hitting some goals early in your season. I hope that that's all happening for you guys. For those of you that are not on video, if you're driving right now, totally understand why you're not on video, but if you can be on video, it would be a lot more helpful. That energy ends up pumping up the meeting a lot more. We've presently got 16 people on, and it would be good to see all of your wonderful faces. We're going to go ahead and just down at the bottom, a few housekeeping items that we have, team. You've got your name on your screen right now. You can see my name that says Judd, followed by Judd at asphaltkingdom.com. You can see Sean and Matthias and Dylan. You can see a lot of us that have our email addresses and our names there. If you can change your name to be your first name, followed by your email address, that would be really, really great. It's not for email stacking here, team. It's for network building. The network at the AK Roundtable is extremely strong. We have over 3,000 members, a part of the AK Roundtable. And so being able to share work together, being able to share opportunities, partner on deals, etc., and even ask questions is a really great thing. So please go ahead and adjust your name to that. That would be really great. Then down at the very bottom, you also have the chat window. That chat feature, you can chat with people individually or you can chat with everyone as a group. Completely up to you. If you're going to speak about me with the whole group, that's cool. Just make sure it's all good stuff. Yeah. Just smile and nod to that one. That was a dad joke. All right. Let's keep rocking here. I've got Mr. Matthias. Mr. Matthias, I'm going to put him in a spotlight here for everyone. Mr. Matthias, thank you for being my co-host here tonight, brother. I appreciate you every single week coming consistently with the drumbeat of the AK Roundtable. And I'll say I'm super excited again tonight. You guys are in for a massive treat. I hope that you have notepads. Everybody has a notepad or somewhere to type. You're going to take away some golden nuggets, right? If you take away one good thing tonight, that's all that matters. Take away one good thing at least. And we've got Billy Ammons on here as well. He's out in the field rocking and rolling, you know, always smiling and pumping the team up as well. So good to have you all on. Let's go ahead and kick this off, team. You know how it goes. Every single week we get the energy pumped up through some wins. And so it would be really good for you to just use that reactions button down at the bottom, or if you want to put your thumb up on screen, I can see Billy's win. He's got a win for sure. Thumb's already up. But remember, team, success attracts success, right? You agree with that? Give me a thumbs up if you agree with that, that success attracts success. It's totally magnetic, guys. It's magnetic. If you watch the videos on the YouTube channel of our AK Roundtable replays, when you see the stories coming out and the testimonials and the case studies and the wins and all of these things, guys, that's designed to inspire you to push that one step further to build success in your life, right? So let's keep building success by attracting success. So how do we do that? Through the wins. Billy Ammons, come off mute, man. Share your win. Let's party.
Where to begin? I want to say I'm thankful to God that give me all the opportunities when I doubted myself in the process. Follow the process, we preach it, but we don't believe into it until we start seeing results. So I say that by saying when we go all in, sometimes like the fear of failure and the uncertainty by keeping your phone on ring and off silent, like God will, or whatever you believe in, will allow you to get those phone calls and opportunities. You know, not all of them are guarantees, but sometimes all you want is an opportunity. And when they're coming in to the point where you're picking and choosing, it's humbling. Even though when we got wins, we also have a lot of, maybe a lot of losses and other personal, whether it be health problems or whatever we're battling. But if we can just like at least win in something that we control, that's that's part of living, ain't it? And I just want to thank y'all on the team. As I continue to grow, I'm a small fish, the smallest. I'm the salt grain and a pepper shaker, meaning it got replaced, and I'm just a little peon, and just to be a fly on the wall to learn from all these nice young gentlemen and ladies on the AK team, week in and week out, and to be a part of that. And I tell you, when things are not going so well at home, I would say when it's raining outside, it's great to turn to a family that we're always uplifting and being positive. Because some of us, sometimes we need that. We need some positivity in our week because maybe we lost a lot on that last job. It rained out, the sealer got destroyed. Now we're redoing it and smiling at the same time. So, you know, sorry, I don't mean to ramble and take up a lot of time. I'm just happy to be here and happy to be a part of the team.
Brother, we're so grateful. Every single week, man, you show up here and it's like a drum beat for you, man. It's you hit that drum every single week. You come smiling, motivated, and you inspire people. Your journey has been really incredible. To think that you've now been able to leave your job to come to something that you're building for your future, that you're in control of, and now to know that you're picking and choosing the jobs that are coming in your future. That yellow brick road's got that brightness all down that path, man. That's something really special to have built. And it's not easy, right? It's not easy. It's not all cupcakes and butterflies through the process of building a business, right?
It will challenge your beliefs, your spiritual beliefs. It will challenge your marriage. It will challenge everything that you hold dear in your life, and it would question your sanity at times. It would you would lose sleep. You would gain weight, lose weight, and you got to adapt to the circumstances. And once we adapt to get comfortable with one level of fear and one level of a scope of project or size of a parking lot we are uncomfortable with or an obstacle in our life. Once we achieve that, and the next time you see a parking lot that size or smaller, you can be like, psh, easy day. So I say that to say, take on the biggest projects you can and just follow the process through it. That way you can go ahead and start knocking out and trying to apply opportunities to maybe projects that you might pull people in for, but they were big enough that multiple people can eat well and learn from and have repetition. So thank y'all.
Let's go. Let's go. Everyone, come on, give a thumbs up on that. Is that not some good, that's good stuff, man. That's good stuff. You just inspired all of us, bro. You see, that's lighthouse stuff, man. Lighthouse stands there tall and strong no matter what, right? Tugboats are very different. I urge you guys to look that up somewhere on Google, right? Lighthouse and tugboat. There's a reason why I have a lighthouse on my forearm that's tattooed to remind me every single day of that. Matthias, your background right there, lighthouse, right? That's Mr. Malone, lighthouse. Everyone, lighthouse, right? We got to be that lighthouse for not just ourselves and our business, but our family, our friends in the world out there. Billy, you are that guy. Chad Keeping, good to see you on. Good to see blue skies, man. What's your win, brother? Let's go.
Hi, Braden.
My win is I was able to go and work beside my coach yesterday, doing a little crack filling down in Hamilton, Ontario.
Nice.
So
Mr. Rob McKenzie?
that's my win for Rob McKenzie, yep. And, it was a great couple hours that we spent. He was a little mad I was late, but he got over it and started cracking jokes. But, it was nice to actually stand back and work side by side crack film with your coach. It's a inspiring thing and goes to show you look at his technique and then you look at your technique and you always can find something to do better, to better what you do.
100%. Chad, I'm looking forward to catching up with you as well. I'll give you a holler, man, but it's good to see you on. Remember, one step forward at a time. That's the way that we roll, right? One step at a time.
Yeah, man. I know. I know it. it was looking pretty bleak a month ago if I was even going to open up this year. And I had a lot of people in my background that I didn't know I had in my background rooting for me. And they were like, a good friend of mine said to me, he goes, whatever it costs to start up, let's do it. And I just looked at him. I said, are you kidding me? He goes, nope, I don't care the cost. And, you know, he invested, which, you know, comes with an investment. You're going to, he's going to make money. So, you know, it's a win-win for both. And it just, you know, to anyone out there just getting into the industry, if you're small and don't have the finances and you have somebody of the magnitude that I have, like, that's willing to help you, take the help when you can get it, but make sure you can return. That's a big thing. But yeah, no, I'm just happy to be back in business and back working. And I've been working for the last 2 weeks, so it's been very satisfying.
Let's go, Chad. I'm proud of you, brother. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for sharing the win. We appreciate you, and congrats on stepping forward, brother. Mr. Steve, you got your hand up. We're going to do one last win, and then I've got a special guest that I cannot wait to introduce you to, man. Awesome guy. Stay tuned for that. Steve, do you have a win on your side? I know you do, a big one. Come on.
Yeah,
let's go.
280 spaces over the weekend. Great. We had a great crew out there. Everything went smooth. A little bit of paint clogs toward the end, of course, when you're just about ready to wrap up, but stuff happens. And in the last couple of weeks, I've met with a couple of business partners that are willing to do crack fills, blacktopping, seal coating in front of us and let us do striping behind them. So yeah, things are looking good.
Congrats. That is awesome, man. Well, and how old's the business now, Steve?
30 days.
Yes. Come on, everybody, give that thumbs up. Steve's crushing it. 30 days, 280 spot bar. Let's go, man. This is what it's all about, right? Yes, I love it. Cool. We have Mr. Coach Alex Coring on as well. He's got an orange shirt. You know, he's traveling between jobs, closing big deals. Quick, Coach, come on for a second. Come off mute. Tell us about the job you did yesterday, brother.
Oh yeah, we just wrapped up this morning kind of, but we did 11,000 square feet of paving, basically a day and a half, $80,000 job. Everything came out great, so super excited about that one. That was subbed out to one of my performance partners, and I made 18,000 in profit on that. So just for being out there and kind of, you know, meeting with management, running the crew, and doing a little bit of labor myself, made about $9,000 in profit a day. So that was a nice win for us.
Nothing like making profit, like good profit on a job. And actually, speaking about profit, we recently, you may have seen it, some of you, we hosted a webinar last week. It was just a blast, man. It was a lot of fun. As you guys may know, we have created an incredible partnership with Attentive.ai, which has really, really allowed business owners to streamline their business through AI solutions and a surface area measurement tool that's next level. And it goes way beyond that, right? We often think about the things that we implement, the things that we do. If we're looking at the money, then we're probably focusing on the wrong thing. What we need to be first and foremost focusing on is the why. Why is it that we're doing what we do? And then can we build something that's going to be a profitable machine that's solving people's problems and over delivering on the value? Give me a thumbs up if you agree with that your business should be focusing on solving problems, over delivering on value, and you should be able to make profit doing that by helping people. Yeah, thumbs up there. Cool. So I've got a really special guest to introduce you to tonight. An incredible human, super, just warm energy. And I can tell so filled with love just through communication. And I know that he's going to be just of tremendous value to you guys here tonight through a lot of his experiences that he's had in the past. Let me kind of break this down for you guys. We've got Sean Prince on tonight with us. He's the president of field services, and he's head of business development over at attentive.ai. And he brings over 2 decades of leadership experience in the commercial landscaping and field services industry. And his career began at Brickman Group, now Brightview, where he advanced through the roles from operations manager to regional sales leader. After serving as VP of business development at Continuum Services, he joined attentive.ai in 2022 to lead US growth at Attentive. Sean drives the adoption of AI-powered tools like Auto Measure through the Attentive platform, helping contractors streamline bids, boost win rates, scale faster. He's also the voice behind, I love this, the word for the week, right on LinkedIn. It's incredible, where he shares insight on culture-first leadership, team building, and keeping work both disciplined and fun. Sean's approach is all about people first, practical tech adoption, and building high-performing, joyful teams. And we're excited to have him with us here tonight, guys. Sean, I've watched you with your team over at Attentive, brother. I've watched you with our teams as we were building the partnership through the AK- platform to bring AI to the platform. And the value that you've brought to the table and the way that you communicate is next level. It's not just words. I've watched it from my own eyes. You're an incredible leader, and we're very, very fortunate and grateful to have you on here tonight, brother. Welcome to the AK Roundtable.
Thank you, Judd. I really appreciate that. And it's great to be here with your audience and your team. Billy has got me fired up here after listening to him talk. So I certainly appreciate celebrating the wins with you guys.
Yeah, Billy brings a lot of light every single week, man. We've got, we've got some really great people here on the AK Roundtable that keep coming back every week and have that drumbeat, right? Becomes the circle. We often say, the circle, show me your circle, I'll show you your future, right? And so we're grateful to have you in the circle. We're grateful that you're a part of the community and that we're building this partnership together. With that being said, Sean, can you take us back a little bit in time? Because, AI is a big thing on the street nowadays, obviously, and tech is something that we spoke about on the webinar last week together, where it's like 2025, if you're not adopting tech right now, you're probably going to be losing some market share to people that embrace that. Can you take us back and then kind of walk us through? I know it's a lot. It would be a long. We're not going to spend an hour doing that, but take us back and kind of give us a little bit about the why you moved to Attentive.
Yeah, I'll give you the 3-minute tour, so to speak. I, like you mentioned, Judd, I started my career on the landscape and facility services space. I was in there for, about 20 years. And I never considered myself like a big tech adopter. If, I used Outlook and I used Teams and I could work my way around a new software, okay. I wasn't great at it. And then, when I was over at Continuum, I really had, the Lord was pulling on my heart to get back to an organization that just really had the customer as at the forefront. And I always use the term, the customer is the hero in our story. I say that quite a bit. And, Lord willing, I needed to buy a piece of software that was focused on, at that time, the aerial takeoff side for our team. And I met Shiva, our CEO, and we spent some time together, purchased the software. I was one of their kind of product partners to kind of help speak into the software to make it better for the industry. And the Attentive name was true. They were attentive to their customers. I had never seen an organization be so obsessed with their customers, what they wanted, and implement quickly. So actually, back in 2022, that's how I ended up over at Attentive. It was more of a culture and a fulfillment fit, and moved over there to Attentive. And basically over the past almost, 3 years in July, have learned a lot about the technology space and kind of being that intermediary between the facility services, asphalt landscape space, and technology, and how to put the two together. Not perfect at it, and I remember even talking to my wife, like before I made the switch, 20 years in the facility services space, and I'm going to be the oldest guy at the company working at a tech startup company. That, that wasn't me. And thankfully my wife's the free spirit of the relationship, and she pushed me to make the move, and here we are. What
an incredible journey to go from from being almost a customer technically to then assisting with product development and giving kind of the vision and improvements that could be made to the system to cater to something that you knew so well. Because at the end of the day, it's like, you know, as we're building these businesses, I think one of the mindsets that we forget a lot of the time is that we're essentially building a marketing and sales engine that provides whatever service it is that we're providing. And that's something that I think a lot of us forget. It's like we may not be leveraging what we call kind of this trifecta that we've come up with, which I think is so important. It's like if we don't truly understand sales in our business and what we can leverage from a data-driven perspective that has incredible design. So remember, team, like you should write these notes down right now. I need to build a sales engine that has accurate data, that has a great looking design so that I can close more deals than the average. So Sean, tell us a little bit about, I know that from a facility management experience perspective and where you are today, how important is it to, as it relates to data and also the look, when you hear property managers and facility managers receiving things, how important is that stuff to them making decisions?
Yeah, it's crucial, Judd. And I'll go back, right? When I started in this industry, I was an operator. I was not a sales expert. I didn't even know how to make a sale. It was very foreign to me. You give me the work, you give me the hours, you give me the team, we'll go out and get the job done, right? But you know, as I grew in my career, the sales piece started to creep in, whether it was like account management and you're selling into an account, or it was brand new, go out and win new logos and hunt your work and bring it home. When you talk about data and you talk about design and we talk about process, right? That's what an engine is, right? It's a process that you can repeat and scale that makes your business move forward. One of the biggest things that probably come into my mind, and I say this all the time, it's like beating a dead horse, but I'll continue to say it. 2 words: speed kills in that process, right? With sales and that sales engine. So, you know, the more friction you introduce into that process, the slower you're going to go and the less sales you're going to make. And the more, you know, your potential competitors will rise above you. The less friction you have in that sales process, you know, the quicker you can move. And sometimes to close the deal, sometimes that's all that's required is you got to be quick. The barrier of entry can be so low, you know, depending on what market you're in. Sometimes returning a phone call in 5 minutes or less, right, can win you the deal. And I've had that happen on really small deals. I've had that happen and turn out to be a 6-figure deal in the process. But I think when you talk about data and design and process, however you can simplify that the most in that engine model is the way that you can go. It's almost like a minimum effective dose. You don't need to make it complicated. You need to keep it simple and you need to keep it quick and always optimize on speed.
Which definitely relating to the data and the speed portion of this, you know, we get really busy in this industry, right? Like we are drinking from a fire hose. A lot of us only have, you know, 145 days in a year to actually go and work and produce work, right? And it's like we have to make the most out of our time. What has Attentive done to ultimately assist with that? I know the answer, of course, but we want to hear it from you. What has Attentive done to really help create more accurate data and also save time so that we can focus on growing our business versus maybe grinding a hand crank that we don't need to be grinding as often?
Yeah, absolutely, Judd. So we, like, here at Attentive AI, we deliver 2 things. We deliver accuracy is 1A and speed is 1B. Those are our 2 things that we deliver. We leverage that through the actual takeoff process, whether that's aerial or whether that's the blueprint process. Those are our 2 levers that we push those 2 value props to our customers, essentially. So when you look at the sales process, right, there's pieces and parts to it, right? There's prospecting, there's actually qualifying the meeting. Then once you get a qualified deal, obviously, hopefully you're making sure it's qualified before you take it to a takeoff survey estimate. And then you go into your actual estimate, build, and proposal. All these stages take time. And so as technology has creeped into the industry and it's been optimized via AI, those steps are starting to shrink in regards to timelines. This is what I'm seeing in a lot of the field services industries, paving, asphalt included. One of the biggest time sucks has always been the takeoff process, right? Whether you're doing it manually, whether you have to go out to the site, whether you have to do both, right? It can take a lot of time. So where we really narrowed our focus as a company is how do we speed that process up by leveraging AI in a very simplistic platform. So when you jump onto Attentive AI and you're in the system, it's a super simple interface, super, super simple. And we've tried to make the steps, right? It's basically a 3-step process to get your takeoff in flight for AI to actually complete the takeoff for you, whether that's an advanced paving report, whether that's just striping, whatever the data you need back. It's super simple to request that via that aerial imagery or that blueprint inside the platform. And the whole idea behind all that is we optimize and speed up that process in 2 ways. One, maybe it's done quicker than you could have done by going out to the site and spending a day out there with a wheel. And it's done quicker that way. But it also allows you, like when you think about, a sales funnel, it flows into a pipe, right? And let's just say your pipe size is 1x. Well, the idea here is that if that's the pinch point in your business, getting the takeoffs completed and getting the estimates completed, Attentive AI can come alongside you. And always use the term, it can be a force multiplier to 2x or 3x that pipe. So you can get more through quicker on your sales funnel and your sales cycle.
That is, I know we like everything that you've just said right there. I can tell you, like back when I used to operate in the field, the amount of time that I had to use measuring wheels, and again, it wasn't always accurate, right? Because the aggregate on the surface of a paved lot that is 15 years old, that's rough, that wheel, a lot of the time, that measuring wheel is spinning, and you can lose 7 or 8 feet on a lot that's 25,000 square foot, and it's like 8 feet times 300 feet. There's a lot of miss that can happen on a lot when you're doing those kind of measurements. And so that to me is like, if I only had the ability back then as to what I have the ability to access now, which we brought to everyone on here, that's such a special thing. I'd love to bring Mr. McCann. Can I bring you on with us for a sec? Is that cool? It's kind of jumping out of the blue. Is that all right?
Sure, I'm multitasking, but definitely.
Cool. So obviously, Sean, and so we're here. You're somebody who has built and sold a 7-figure business. You focused a lot on striping, but also on pavement maintenance and repairs. And for somebody who's built that business to 7 figures, sold it, and you understand the complexities of these pieces because you're also a systems guy, I know how important they are to you. As we've gone through this process of bringing this together, what is your overall feedback on what this is really providing to people?
Well, it's an employee that doesn't get CPP, don't pay taxes on EI if you're Canadian. Like when I was running my business, I would probably, and we were doing 500 or 600 projects a year because there's a lot of small stuff, a lot of big stuff, but we were traditionally employing somebody just to do what we called counts, which, you'd look at satellite imagery, have the notepad going on the side. Didn't always have the cleanest imagery. So, you might have to still go out and do a site tour on something like that. We played around with students, we played around with offshoring that. Ironically, last year when I was living abroad, I had met some AI developers and we were talking about doing something like this. So the irony of meeting Sean over the last kind of 6 months has been kind of funny. But yeah, I mean, it's literally an employee, in a box that you don't have to double check their work because, it's 98% accurate. Never had an employee that was 98% accurate. So, I mean, it was a no-brainer for me. And seeing it kind of integrated directly into AK Dash, the ease of use, the way that, if you're busy, you can just click a button and it's going to give you all of your measurements and takeoffs. You can then, run your numbers on. Or, if you're on a budget, being able to use the manual measurement tool. I mean, it's really the best of both worlds and keeps you in one place. One of the things that I look for in any business is, can I run my business from one tab on my computer? And, you know, by having the partnership with Attentive AI, we're going to be able to do that. So
Appreciate that, man. And yeah, I'm like, if you guys could understand the level of excitement that I have right now in this chair, that's hidden behind just me sitting here in this chair, I'm like literally jumping up and down for everyone, for our industry, because the reality of it is we now have a business solution platform and AI, the auto takeoffs that are literally blueprint aerial takeoffs, guys, that you have built into a system, and it doesn't exist, and it exists now. And that's massive. Sean, as you were working with our team at AK, there was something that was really, really important as we were going through that. And you know, you're a big culture guy, right? And we spoke about this early, and it was like what was the reason you truly did this with us at AK and AK Dash? Just so I want everyone to hear it, man. What was the true reason?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I'd probably say it's two-pronged, right? Is when we look for partners at Attentive, whether it be a technology, consultant, whatever kind of partner it is, right? We're not looking to have like 1,000 of them. We're looking to have 10 that share our culture, that share our love for the customer. And I think that love for the customer, like in talking with you, Judd, and talking with Dylan, and just talking even with your development team, right? Like a lot of times that culture, that customer first culture doesn't always go down to the development team because they don't have direct interface with them. But I felt when we got our teams together from the technical side, they were collaborating on what this integration could look like for the end user. And that was always, like, to use your language, that was always the lighthouse that we were headed to, right? And you know, that customer first love is I think what probably connected you and I first initially. Like we are there for our customers. And then, you know, on top of that, it's like the technology piece is, man, we've got an opportunity to simplify something that's really just a behemoth right now, whether that's a time suck or a technology suck. You know, you've got your ERP or your business management system, whatever you might call that to run your business. In this case, it's AK Dash. But a lot of times I see companies that have like all these point solutions that are there for one reason. So you're popping in a tab, you're popping out a tab, just like Dylan mentioned, it was nice to be able to have it on one. And one of our first conversations, Jed, I think was really around like, hey, we need the teams that are using AK Dash to live in AK Dash, and we need this tool in there. And I think that's where we threaded very well or meshed very well was, you know, this is the best setup for the end user and the AK Dash customer. And honestly, kudos to both of our teams on the product and dev side for making it happen, because I feel like they executed really well.
Yeah, it would have been very difficult for you and I to program all of that stuff and develop it. That's for sure.
Yes, very true.
Listen, we've got the chat window. Are you good with time right now, Sean? Are you okay with time? Because we've got a lot of questions that are coming in right now. Matthias, have you been checking the chat thread here and maybe read out some questions and who they're from, and then we can kind of go through that?
For sure. Billy had a question that he posted in earlier. I had a takeoff a while back, but the pavement surface and road changed, but it was not reflecting on the finished takeoff. On most typical parking lots, it works well, but I have an issue with some of the cases. The takeoff is screen/tearing, almost like it's not fully rendered.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So my thoughts there, Billy, are, you know, how we think about our high resolution imagery is it's typically, we refer to it as a vintage, and that vintage is tied to a time of year. Many times in high population metro areas, that vintage is done 2 to 4 times a year, almost quarterly, essentially. And non-high population metro areas, let's say, you know, you get to some small town in South Dakota or something like that, that will actually be more of a once a year imagery grab. If there is not high resolution imagery available, typically that defaults to low res imagery. And then if there's no low res imagery that's clean enough, it might have trouble doing that tearing or rendering side of what you mentioned as well. But for the most part, we try to ensure that, you know, I'd say 90+% of the areas that we cover in US and Canada, especially high population areas, have that high res imagery no less than 2 times a year. So hopefully I answered that question, but I've seen that, what you mentioned there, I've seen that before from time to time.
The other
Thumbs
one
up,
was
Billy.
about, yep, thumbs up. The other question he had was been using a tenant for a couple of years and wanted to ask about future updates. So is there anything coming down the pipe that you'd be willing to open kind of half a can and just check it out?
Yeah,
So,
we'll crack a little can here.
I
Go
want
ahead.
to ask specifically, so I see the integration. I firmly believe in attentive, and I much rather it to do it, and it's going to do a much better job than me and my lower Alabama math skills trying to add with my fingers and toes. So I just had to throw that in.
I got
there
a question for
laugh.
you, Billy. Is lower Alabama math different than northern Alabama math?
Oh, absolutely. They got the good schools up north.
I love it.
We don't have textbooks down in the South. It's all word of mouth. No, I'm just kidding. So what I was curious about possible future updates is like, so just say if there's a new facility or something being built, a project, and it just so happens to there's no site plans yet or something that you can get a hold of that you could upload to help with some type of takeoff. Is there something in the future that like an AI that could like artificially walk you through like a property, like a VR, like with the new like Apple Vision, you can walk a customer through a parking lot or a racetrack and show where the striping is going to change, where the sponsorship logos are going to be striped and painted. I was just thinking with AI and it being like all satellite based, it may be that processes and those updates can get streamlined. I'm not sure. I'm not a computer nerd, so no offense to anybody that is.
No, I'm not either. So I'm not, no offense taken, but for sure. Couple thoughts there, Billy, on what you mentioned there. So if the vintages or the imagery is not updated in that area with that new build out, and that can certainly happen, right? You get a snapshot of high res imagery that happens in March. You get a lot of building April, May, and June, and that other imagery snapshot doesn't come till August. There might be a gap, right, of 30 or 45 days where it's built, but it's not captured on the imagery. So that can certainly happen. Outside of that, what we typically recommend for takeoff purposes on our platform is if you can get that blueprint or you can get that plan set, the system can support the blueprint takeoff as well. I always caution everybody that does that, right? I always termed it to the individual that I'm proposing this work to as budget guidance, and I never put a firm price, right? It's always budget guidance. That was the title at the top, because how they design it is never how it goes into the ground, whether that's landscape, paving, striping, whatever it is. It's always different. So I always, I always caution people, like when they do estimates off blueprints, it can be accurate to the blueprint, but what actually happens in the ground or on site can be different. So that's maybe option 2, to be able to get a takeoff done. And then, to kind of what we were talking about, maybe future updates. One of the things we're exploring is how the platform can maybe move outside of just actual aerial or blueprint imagery. And when I say outside of it, real-time photos, right? Can you request real-time photos off the attentive platform? Can you request drone footage? Drone footage is probably the closest to the thing that you were talking about there, as far as like having, real time. That does take, turnaround times on that. You obviously have to order the drone. It has to go out, has to do the mapping, has to come back, and then you have to do the actual takeoff data off the drone footage. But it is a potential option to get more updated imagery as we go. So just a couple things we're exploring on the, adding to the platform as we go over the next, I'd say 6 to 12 months.
Thanks, Sean. Appreciate that, man.
Thank you, Sean, for your time, and appreciate and look forward for future updates.
Hey, I got to give Billy kudos here. I think about Billy as the cornerstone, because I was looking at our LinkedIn chat, Billy, and it was almost a year ago you reached out to me and told me about Asphalt Kingdom and told me about Judd. So this has kind of come full circle almost a year after that. So thank you very much, sir.
That is Awesome. Billy, you're the man, brother. We love you, Billy.
I love all y'all equally. Well, y'all can't see my fur babies, but they're here with me. We're on a parking lot that I'm trying to finish up at a U-Haul service center. So, and
Get it.
so I
Got
just
it.
want to, just thank y'all.
Cool. Let's go. Alex Coring, you've got your hand up. Alex, now, Sean, this is a lot of fun because I mean, you and Alex could talk for days. There's no doubt in my mind. Alex Coring's a huge systems guy, huge process guy, has done a lot of the drone stuff that Billy was just speaking about as well, like literally virtual walkthroughs with clients. He's a badass human being. Alex Coring, what's up?
Hey, sorry I got disconnected earlier. I got repeated phone calls I was trying to get rid of, and it dropped the Zoom call. So, been using Attentive for about a year and a half. Love the product, so thank you. I have people consistently, like weekly, emailing me, "Hey, we do estimates and takeoffs for blueprints." I'll never go to any of those guys. It's just the cost. The low cost per page for doing blueprint takeoffs is phenomenal with Attentive, so I appreciate that. And I do a lot of my own mapping, kind of like Judd was talking about. I use Google Maps. I've been kind of entrenched in it for about 8 years. I'm trying to find a way to move a lot of that over to Attentive. Initially, I had some issues because we do a lot of apartment complexes, and there's a ton of covered parking. So my question is twofold. Has the covered parking issue been addressed? And feature request, once you size up like the whole square footage of a parking lot, it'd be nice to like hit a button and say like break this up into 3 equal segments, or hey, we can do 40,000 square feet of seal coat a day. What's the optimal way to attack this parking lot so that we can get this done in 3 days or 4 days or whatever it is? Like right now, I manually do that with the Google Maps, and we color code each section, and then we give it to the client, and then they get under parking stalls and everything of what the daily schedule is for seal coating. So like day 1 is a red area, day 2 is a yellow area, so on and so forth. But it'd be really nice to like just size up a parking lot and say, give me 3 days on this parking lot and divide it, and then color code the sections. Has that been a thought in a roadmap, and is the covered parking thing kind of resolved?
Yeah, no, great questions there. I'll cover covered parking, no pun intended there. First, it definitely has been solved. We've updated our data model there to reflect that as far as the pavement going into those open pavements. And a lot of times there's angular views of the imagery, right, that you can access, that our team can access, and the AI can access, that shows that pavement goes under. What the system won't do is it won't make assumptions for you, right? It will not do that. So that
like parking lines, or will it still count parking lines underneath the covered stall?
If it can see it coming out of the edge of the covered parking, it can make an assumption then, but it won't make an assumption on just where the lines might be, because it could provide, and highly probable it would provide, inaccurate information. But as far as getting pavement out there, typically you can see the pavement outside of that covered parking, so an assumption can be made there as well. So the updates to what we call our data model, or which is just our scope for our features, that has been updated for the covered parking. And then to your second point there, what was the second question there? Was it the feature phasing? Is that what you were talking?
Yeah, phasing.
Yeah.
Phasing. Alex, your connection is rough, so I'm going to let Sean go ahead and answer the phasing question. Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, no problem. I think I know what Alex was saying there. So in the system today, once your takeoff is completed, you can actually phase your project out as well. So you can draw phasing lines. You can change the colors in there of the different phases. You can change the name to day 1, day 2, day 3. And really the origin of that feature was really for capital planning. So if you're working with a large customer and you want to phase out a couple different years from a capital budget perspective and have some really good conversations, you can do that over that map and over that phasing that you built inside the actual Attentive Auto Measure tool. So that's live today, and you can separate and phase in and make a pretty great looking map to have a conversation over with your customer, or production planning for a multi-day project. Like you mentioned, it can be used for both cases. One of the things on our blueprint side, well, that's one of the upcoming features, is to be able to phase on the blueprint. So it would group essentially different features off the blueprint based on your phasing lines to be able to do your takeoffs or even order materials in a more timely fashion as well. So that's one thing that is coming for the blueprint side, but the phasing side of things on aerial is live today.
Okay, there's like a button that you can push, or is it? I guess I can talk to one of your dev guys and figure out how that works.
Yeah, there's some tooling there, and inside the actual. So when you go to edit takeoff, it'll open up tooling. There's some phasing tools in there, and then there's also some videos that actually show how to use it inside the system as well.
Perfect. And one last quick question.
Yeah, and we've got it, Alex. We've got a boogie here because we're down to last 10 minutes, and we've got a lot to cover. So if you have one quick question, let's do it. If it's going to be a longer one, we can't.
No, I was just wondering if like 3D modeling is going to come in the roadmap, because right now it's satellite top down. If we could do like oblique angles and 3D modeling, but that was just a quick question.
Yeah, great question. Not currently on the roadmap. That's more falls in the BIM area, I would say, especially on the construction side, but currently not in the roadmap for the aerial.
Cool, thanks.
Yep.
Appreciate the great questions, Alex. Thank you, Sean, for the answers. We're going to go ahead, Sean. I want to really just thank you. We're going to stop for questions right now because we've got some more stuff we want to cover here, but I want to thank you on behalf of the whole community and the team here for investing the time here tonight with us. Can everyone please give Sean a round of applause for his time and an energy that he's put in here tonight? Appreciate you very much, brother.
Yeah, you as well, brother. You guys take care. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a blessing and an honor.
Looking forward to having you back on in the future.
Awesome. Everybody take care.
Thanks, Sean. See ya. Cool. All right. That's awesome, man. I'm so glad that you guys got to meet Sean. Great guy, as you can see, and working hard to bring technological advancements to the forefront of our industry, which we haven't really had great tech for our industry. We're wanting to really differentiate from that cookie cutter kind of a CRM to having a business solution that really has everything for you guys at your fingertips. And so let's go ahead. I'm going to actually put Mr. Malone in the spotlight because I want to have him show you guys under the hood of the Attentive portion and what it looks like, and kind of that trifecta thing that we spoke about earlier, which is sales, data, and making sure that we have something that differentiates. Malone, how you doing over there tonight, brother?
Doing great. Can you just make me co-host so I can go ahead and share my screen?
Absolutely. You are now co-host, my man. I appreciate it. Let's go.
All righty. So just wanted to give you guys how the Attentive AI integration looks within AK Dash. So of course, it's going to be a piece of our proposal tool now. And this is an example of the advanced paving auto measure. So this example here, this is a McDonald's. And the advanced paving is presenting us with 98% accuracy, covering the square footage of the asphalt, the concrete, and the surface curb strips, as well as the linear feet of line striping. So as far as cross hatching stripes, which you can see here, linear curb strip, other stripes, the parking stall stripes, and then the stop bar stripes. So it's pretty neat because
Malone, what did you do to get this? Can you walk people just quickly, just communicate the steps that you took in order to get what you have in front of you?
Yep. So in order to do this, you literally just create a proposal, type in the address, confirm the boundary, and then you submit it for an auto takeoff.
And when you submit it for the auto takeoff, it brings you back all of these measurements automatically without you having to do anything.
It's almost literally hands off.
Got it. So you have all the measurements on here. So you'd be able to have what you have in front of you just by typing in the address, confirming the boundaries and getting this. Is that accurate?
That's accurate. Yes.
Mr. McCann, can you come on? I'm gonna bring you on. Or Mr. Matthias, can you put Mr. McCann in spotlight, please?
Just trying to sneak my dinner.
I know. I have to do this though. So what you just saw right there on that takeoff, that blueprint right there, what would that have taken you in the field to get all of that data on a 25,000 square foot lot like that? Let's say QSR, McDonald's, Burger King, Chick-fil-A, something like that.
Probably like 20 minutes at most. If it was good.
Sorry, so you'd have to travel to that site though, right?
If I'm traveling to the site, different story. But if I'm doing like a virtual takeoff off of Google Maps, for example, like I'm going to go in and I'm going to take the square footage of all the asphalt, have the perimeter so that I know how much edging is going to be done. I'm probably going to guess on the condition of the asphalt based off of the street view that I can see. It's a little bit of a process to that. I'm going to count all the lines. I'm going to estimate that those are about 20 feet long. They're probably closer to 18 and a half. I'm going to look and see everything. Now, if I can't see everything, then I've got to go to site, but it's probably at least it's a 20-minute process for sure.
And
If
so
it's-
how many proposals were you putting out? Like, and everyone, I want you to pay attention to this. It's really, really important. How many proposals would you say you were putting out a season where you'd have to invest that 20 minutes to do that kind of stuff?
Well, this is a relatively small site, but like we would do on average 1,200 proposals a year.
Does anybody have a calculator that they can actually pull out? Hey, you guys all get my drift here, right? Like how many hours of time was invested into actually having that? And then what, how much is that?
400
hours. Yeah.
400 hours. Got it. Cool. All right. Thank you, McCann. Yeah, back to dinner. Appreciate the time on that. Just important information. So,
That's
Mr.
also
Malone.
17 days, just so you know, 17 days.
Got it. Yeah. All right. So now, Malone, we have this here inside the system. We punched in the address. We now have this auto takeoff that's in front of us. We've got all the measurements. And then how long does it take you to take this on the screen right here? How long does it take you to turn it into a proposal that is that PDF?
Yeah, so another great thing about having 98% accuracy is now, we have some integrity to work with in our numbers, and then putting that into our job cost and calculators of AK dash that's already included in AK dash, right? So that's probably the longest time investment, just confirming the numbers and accounting for your overhead and labor costs. Once you get to that point, while the auto measure is working, you can work through the proposal. So like Sean was saying, the auto measure will do its thing, and then you can invest your time back into the sales and the other money earning activities. So you can complete this proposal while that's being conducted.
How long?
And it could take you less than 5 minutes.
How long for just the outline? When you're doing the outline, so you're just starting the process and you're clicking whatever, does that take what, 15 seconds to do the outline of the property?
It depends on the size of the property and how the boundary is automatically set up from attentive, but it takes about 2 minutes tops.
A little better than 400 hours.
Like I was working with an 11-acre Costco. That one took me a couple minutes just to confirm the boundary.
How big
But,
was how many square feet were on that Costco?
I'm not sure what 11 acres converts to in square footage, but a lot.
Don't worry, McCann's doing it in the background. Let's keep rolling here, Malone, for purpose of time. Let's keep rolling on what this looks like.
Yeah, so the proposals come out really nice. It'll have your logo at the top and the customer's information on that cover page as well. Second page will have an executive summary about your company, and then your culture and your values to establish trust with the customer. The third page, you'll have the line items. So the services you're conducting with the specifics of those services. These bullet points auto fill in. So these will also save you time. All you have to do is just make whatever adjustments are specific to the job. And the neat thing about these service lines, seal coating and striping, we know that they're 98% accurate. So these prices are going to be really accurate as well. Then the mapping tool will automatically reflect on the proposal. And then the legend as well. So all those measurements you saw within the Attentive AI interface translate to the proposal. And you can also go ahead and add pictures if you did do a site visit to highlight specific areas that need attention.
Excellent.
And the price breakdown, so the combination of the services and the price per each, how it adds up to the project total. And then the contract terms and agreements. So you can go ahead and get the deal closed. We also have capabilities to have it electronically signed to move things smoother. You can turn it into a work order. So if you have subcontracting or you need your foreman to have visibility, it comes out smoothly on that end. You can send it to QuickBooks if that's your accounting software or bookkeeping software. You can make a copy, you can sign it on a tablet, and then you can also turn it into an invoice.
Thank you, Mr. Malone. I appreciate it very much. Do me a favor, stop sharing screen for a sec. There we go. Okay, so team, I want you to think about this. Just think about what we spoke about earlier. If you understand the sales process and you understand what a pipeline looks like, where you go literally from lead to pavement assessment to proposal to following up with workflow automation to a closed won and closed lost deal, where you have data integrity and you actually have a design that separates you from the pack, the chances of you closing the deal go up. It's just the way it works. If you guys become a master of your craft and the way that you sell it, because you've gone through the training, you've watched the videos, you understand the pipeline, you've taken the time with our team, and you've invested that time, and you become very fluent in the way you speak asphalt. When you do that and you have data integrity and you have a great looking proposal system, you end up in a spot where you're winning more. And so if you guys are not using Dash, I'm trying to push you guys to do it because we finally have the solution that's literally a holistic solution. If you're not using it, do it independently until you can, until it becomes, I don't want you doing it independently, but if you do it independently, at least do the things that I'm saying to do. It's super, super important that you're not just handing out a cookie cutter solution like the majority of people in the industry do. You have to separate, because if you're doing the right sales work, you're asking open-ended questions that allow you to uncover pain with your customers, and they're going to tell you exactly what it is that they want to see on the proposal. That needs to be built into your scopes of work on your proposal. We'll train you, we'll teach you on that when we get inside of Dash. We'll show you that. It shouldn't just say seal coating and then a price. You can end up with scope creep, where you end up saying, I'm going to seal coat, but you say the client comes back to you and says, well, I was expecting 2 coats because it only said seal coat, and it didn't say about extending the pavement's life and enhancing the aesthetic value of the property as part of that scope. Repairing cracks to prevent potholes that are liability risks that lead to litigation, these kind of things, right? We need to think about how we're creating these custom tailored solutions that look badass, guys, for you, and that you have data integrity. Does this all make sense to everyone? Is this like, does this add up, what I'm saying? I think it does, right?
Can I add 2 things?
Yeah, go ahead, Matthias, let's roll.
2 things I realized when I saw this the first time. Number one, to your customer will realize that you're doing something completely different. The fact that they can actually use the data that it's 98% accurate means they're not going to actually use your quote going, well, this guy's messed over here because his stuff's out to lunch. This guy over here's got way too few lines or way too little square footage, whatever. So you're going to be basically the bench, basically that the point where everybody's going to be measuring from. Number 2, as a company, you're going to be building a company that you want to someday, or maybe not, but let's say you want to create the value in your own business that creates the, you know, the vision. If I came and looked at your company and all I saw was these amazing takeoffs for all this property that you service, what would I see more value than some guy that's got these little, you know, pictures of things he tried to do off Google that are kind of sitting in folders where I got to look through it? Or is it just beautiful, seamless? I can see everything you've done over the years for every one of your clients. Those two things made a big difference for me in the perception of your customer and for your business. Hopefully that helps you guys.
Your business is only going to be attractive if you're able to have the processes and systems that don't rely only on you. If you're the bottleneck of your business, you're not building the right kind of business. Because if something ever happens to you, you want somebody either in your family or somebody that you can pass the torch to. You want that business to live on. And if you don't care about them, then at least do it for yourself to make things easier for you now. If you want to sell your business, you want to have the machine that you've built that has all of these systems. I call it the 5 pillars. This might be worth writing down. If there's some value in this, I hope it helps you guys. The 5 pillars. The first pillar is that you're building a sales business. So sales is your number 1 pillar. Marketing, which is the face of your business for lead generation and social proof, is your second pillar. Your third pillar is operations. Operations, getting out there and getting the work done, whether it's you that's performing the projects or you have performance partners to execute on the projects. The fourth pillar is finance, your finance pillar. That's the accounting system. That's where you learn about a profit and loss. That's where P&L. It's where you learn about a balance sheet, cash flow analysis. Doesn't take long to learn it. YouTube University is awesome, man. But you should have a bookkeeper that can help you with that, and an accountant that maybe can review that stuff. That fourth pillar is finance. And do you know what the fifth pillar is? The fifth pillar, the most important pillar of them all, the most important pillar of any of them. It's the system that ties them all together. When you have the system that ties them all together, you've built a castle. And so the question is, with the notes that you've written down, are you willing to drive a little bit more granularly on each one of those pillars? And I can tell you from a sales standpoint, have you learned the closer framework? Have you learned the objections that are common in our industry and how to overcome those objections? Have you understood how to create emotionally compelling solutions for your clients that are custom tailored for them? Go granular on that. We have all of this stuff for you guys, man. It's on our YouTube channel. We've got the vault. We've got Dash. We unlock things to you guys. We give it to you as part of Roundtable community members. Get sharp on the first pillar, which is sales. Your second pillar is marketing. You got your Facebook page up, your LinkedIn professional profile set up, your YouTube channel set up, your Instagram business profile set up, your Google My Business, is that set up? Go more granular. Don't just set it up, but what are we doing to activate that? The third one, operations. Do you have SOPs? Do you have performance partners that can execute on projects that you may not be able to? I know people on here has made hundreds of thousands of dollars a year just by subbing out work. Okay. The fifth one, the system that ties it all to, the fourth one, finance. Do you have QuickBooks? Are you using Xero? Is it integrated in your business platform? Do you have a bookkeeper? Do you have an accountant? With AI, it's incredible what you're able to do today. ChatGPT is a incredible system that you can leverage, right? And then you have the system that ties it all together. Whatever system you choose, make sure you have a system that ties them all together, team, or you're going to be hand cranking for days and days and days to come. And that's not what I want to see you guys do. I want to see you build awesome biceps, but not by hand cranking your business constantly and being in that hamster wheel and capping out at a few $100 grand a year or even $100 grand a year. I want to see you guys build the freedom that you're looking for. And and build a business that's highly profitable. Who here wants a profitable business, like a highly profitable business? Honestly, the ball's in your court. We have it all for you guys. 22 years, man, we built it. We've got it all at your fingertips, all of it. Cool, guys, we're going to wrap up. We are just rounding up on the evening here. I really appreciate everyone pouring into themselves and into the team here tonight. You guys are the ones that showed up. Remember that. There were the professional athletes that were out there on the court after the lights went out, and they flicked those lights back on to shoot some more baskets. You know what a few more shots, right? You guys are doing that in after hours. You guys are doing that between jobs. You're driving in vehicles right now, literally between jobs on the way back to maybe see your families and stuff, but you're pouring into yourselves and you're pouring into the community. That's what this is all about. It's why the AK Roundtable was developed, and we're honored to have you a part of it, guys. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys next week. Same time, same place, right here on the AK Roundtable. Thanks everyone for your time. Matthias, appreciate the co-hosts, brother. McCann, Malone, Robert Wallace, AK team, Sidewalk, Sidewalk Safety, Coach Alex. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.